All right, let's talk about day trading. Forget trying to outsmart the entire market. We're going to break down a strategy that's built on one single powerful idea. Just follow the giants.
You know, it's the one question every small trader asks themselves. You see these massive price swings, and it's so easy to feel like you're just a tiny boat in an ocean, and the whales are in complete control. Are you just food for the sharks? Well, here's a thought. What if that massive size difference, the very thing that makes you feel small, was actually your greatest strength?
I mean, think about it. On one side, you've got the giants. We're talking hedge funds, pension funds, managing billions of dollars. Their orders are so huge they literally can't help but make waves. Yeah, they're powerful, but that also makes them kind of slow, and you know what? Predictable. And then there's you. Small account, fast, and incredibly nimble. And that right there, that difference, that's your edge.
So let's really dig into this advantage. What is this secret weapon that you, as a small trader, have in your back pocket that a billion-dollar fund just doesn't?
It's actually pretty simple. You can jump in and out of a trade instantly, and nobody even notices you were there. Your 100-share order, it's a total drop in the ocean. Meanwhile, a fund trying to buy 1 million shares, that's a battleship. Every single move they make is visible for miles. So your invisibility, it's basically a superpower.
Okay, so if you can't fight them, and you're obviously not going to be them, what's the game plan? Well, you become a hunter. Your whole mission is to find the trails, the tracks left by these giants, and just follow in their wake. Let them do all the heavy lifting of moving the market for you.
But first, let's be really clear about who we're hunting. A big player isn't just some rich guy. We're talking about an institution whose orders are often bigger than 25% of a stock's entire average daily trading volume. Think about that. They are so big, they literally become prisoners of their own size.
Now, just for a second, put yourself in their shoes. Imagine you have to buy 500,000 shares of a stock. If you just place one giant order, what happens? The price skyrockets against you before you're even halfway done. So they can't do that. They have to patiently buy in smaller chunks, often from people like us, from retail traders. And that slow, careful process is what leaves the clues, the footprints for us to find.
And this brings us right to the core of the whole strategy. The charts. They're not just random squiggly lines. They're a story. They are literally the footprints left behind by these big players. Our job is just to learn how to read them.
And here we go. This is a perfect example of one of the most common footprints you'll see. See this angled channel? This isn't just a random pattern. This is a big player at work. They're not chasing the price up. No, they are methodically buying on every single little dip, just soaking up all the sellers inside this channel as they build up their massive position. The trend, it's their creation.
So how do we know when the big player is finished? How do we know when the party's over? We look for the exclamation point at the end of the story. Volume. A sudden, massive surge in trading volume, we're talking 3 to 10 times the average, that's a huge signal. It usually means our big player finally found a seller big enough to complete their order, and the move they were carefully creating is probably coming to an end.
You can also see these footprints really clearly in reversals, and they usually come in 2 main flavors. Over on the left, you've got the V-shape. That's sharp, it's violent, and it's driven by crowd panic. But on the right, you see that U-shape? It's more methodical, more rounded. That U-shape is often the signature of a big player finishing up their order, causing the trend to just gently run out of steam.
And here's another really key insight for you. Ever wonder why prices so often seem to stall out at these nice, clean numbers like $50 or $100? It's because that's where the most liquidity is. Big players know this, so that's where they place their huge static buy or sell orders. For us, these round numbers act like giant signposts for potential support and resistance.
Okay, so now that we know what to look for, we need to talk about when to look. And this is critical because not all hours of the trading day are created equal. The market has a very distinct rhythm, and trying to trade against it is just a recipe for frustration. This chart basically shows the heartbeat of the market. See that U-shape? Volume and activity are absolutely massive at the open. Then they die down big time during the middle of the day. You've probably heard of the lunchtime lull, before surging again right into the close. Now, a big player trying to get a huge order filled is going to be most active when the market itself is most active. We can actually break the day down into different phases. The opening? It's wild. It's full of these impulse moves from overnight news. But the morning session, say from about 10 till noon, that's often the sweet spot for finding those clean, methodical trends we're hunting for. Then comes the lunch lull. Low volume, choppy prices, a fantastic time to go grab a coffee and just stay out. And finally, the close is another burst of high volume, but it's mostly about closing out positions, not really starting new ones.
So let's put this all together. At the end of the day, what is the core task of a day trader using this strategy? It's not about being some kind of genius who can predict the future. It's about being a really great detective.
The whole process really just boils down to these 4 steps. 1. You find the big player's trail, that angled channel, that support at a round number. 2. You confirm they're still there, that they're still pushing the trend along. 3. You join them. You ride their wave. And 4. When you see the signs that their order is complete, like that massive volume spike, you get out. Simple as that.
And this is maybe the most crucial point of all. We are not trying to guess where the price is going to be in an hour. We are simply observing the evidence on the chart right now that tells us a big player is active. We are reacting to what is happening, not predicting what might happen. And that is a fundamental, game-changing shift in mindset.
So the logic here, finding and following the big money, it's pretty straightforward. The patterns are definitely there if you just know how to look for them. But, knowing the strategy is one thing. The real challenge, and the final question I'm going to leave you with, is whether you have the discipline and the patience to actually execute it, day in and day out. Can you wait for the footprints and only act when you see it? That's the real test.